If you're thinking of moving to Orlando, you gotta wonder, how does the cost compare to where you live?
We've got your answers right now. Number 5 is food budget.
You gotta eat. Everyone's gotta eat. And you know what, to be fair, I think it's gonna be really hard to compare, your cost to our cost because we spend a ton of money on food. And we only have 4 mouths to feed. But we're constantly feeding those 4 mouths.
And the dog too.
And the dog too. That's true.
Our dog eats steak, our dog eats salmon, our dog is spoiled.
He's so spoiled, he's so cute. But anyway, the cost of food is something, and I think it's fair to say in today's climate that the cost of food has gone up everywhere. But it's expensive here. We do have different shopping venues. Publix is probably the most costly. Of course, a lot of people shop at Walmart. We have Whole Foods, we have Aldi's, we have Trader Joe's, we have Fresh Market. So you have a lot of different sources where you can get your groceries, but it's gonna cost you a little bit of money.
So it's a little bit different when we talk about the numbers than perhaps in the Midwest, where you've got some of the food that's being produced as locally or is a little more local. So you will expect to pay anywhere from 5 to 7% more. However, it is substantially less expensive than the bigger cities. When you're in the New York, the Philadelphia, East Coast cities, West Coast cities, you're going to find that there is a savings in your cost. And it comes down to shopping. We do have some phenomenal farmers markets in the area that do have local produce that's off the hook.
And it saves you a lot of money. And that's why we go to the farmers markets a lot.
We're actually going there as soon as we're done. So let's move on to the next one.
Number 4 is the rate of compensation. Now, if you look at Orlando as a whole, you're going to notice that the Orlando rate of pay is lower compared to the rest of the nation, but there's a caveat on that.
So when they do the analysis, what they do is they look at the general population, and that in itself shows Orlando being a little bit less compensated. People make a little less money here. But you have to remember, we're very, very touristy driven. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we've got some people that are working here. They're great. I mean, some of the best service providers in the world are here. But our compensation level is a little bit lower, less than they would pay somebody in New York to do the same job. And because so many people are in the service industry, it brings our entire rate of pay down. However, in Central Florida, there are some major employers. We have Lockheed Martin, we have Siemens.
Disney, Central Florida's largest employer.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
The University of Central Florida is here. We've got a lot of very well-paying jobs in the Central Florida area, but if you look at it and do compare it apples to apples, it takes a cross-section, and that cross-section reflects a little bit less for your dollar. It's not always true. It really depends on what you're doing.
But remember, we don't have state income tax.
That's true.
Score.
By the way, if you like what you're seeing, if you like this kind of content, you want to know more about the Central Florida market, hit the like, hit the subscribe, the notification. It doesn't cost you anything. It means a big deal to Jackie and I. We're both very grateful for doing that.
Thank you. And if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. We heart you.
Now, let's get into the housing prices. In Central Florida, as you'd expect, it's nowhere near as expensive as, well,
Miami,
Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach.
Yes.
We also have on the west side of the peninsula,
Naples,
Marco Island, and even Fort Myers is expensive. So when you're on the coast, you're going to pay a little bit more. Now, places like Jacksonville and Gainesville tend to be about the same. Now, here's the fun part. Compared to almost every big city, Orlando and Central Florida is a much better deal. In fact, we've got a link where you can compare your city to Orlando, or really your city to anything, and it's in the comments down below. So grab that and then put it in. It'll tell you exactly what your true comparison looks like. But with Central Florida, I think that there's a heck of a value still able to be here. Our prices have gone up, but
they have gone up.
There's some great opportunity.
Yeah, but you can't compare it to the other areas that we just mentioned. So if you're looking to get the most bang for your buck, you're probably still going to have that opportunity in Orlando and Central Florida.
And we've got a lot of new construction, which means you're getting some great homes that are going to save you a bunch of money as well. Number 2 is entertainment costs. Now, for the sake of this one, we've included going out to dinner as well as local entertainment to come up with that number.
And it seems kind of weird to think that entertainment costs would be less in Orlando because we have all the theme parks. There are so many attractions that you can go to. I mean, you can drop some coin when you're here, but it's really amazing that our prices aren't as bad if you're going to a Broadway show in New York versus a show at the Dr. Phillips Performing Arts Center.
And with dining, we have that same benefit because they're really appealing to a broader spectrum of people, a broader spectrum of financings. They're not as expensive. Yes, of course, you can go to the fine dining restaurants and they're going to be crazy. But as a whole, you'll spend less money going out in Central Florida than you will in most of the major cities.
And I even had some of our clients talk about they would go down to Miami, to go for the weekend and hit a bar, and they would pay like $30 for a rum and coke.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That is just crazy. I mean, I don't know how much a rum and coke here costs. I'm thinking maybe $12, $18.
$7.95.
Oh, but anyway, even a beverage is just so much more expensive in other parts.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits of Central Florida. Because we're not on the coast, we're not really kind of kowtowing to that uber high-end market. We have a huge savings when we're going out.
The number one thing when it comes to cost comparison is healthcare.
Now,
vital. Everyone needs it. And George is going to run with this one because I love him to death, but he's had his fair share of issues.
So I am living testament to the Orlando healthcare and how amazing it is. And the neat thing about this is we have really two competing hospital systems here. We have Advent, which is a phenomenal hospital system, and Orlando Health. And they are competing for the business, which means they're both working harder to be the absolute best. Now, I've used Orlando Health for a minor heart attack that I had a while ago. I'm fine, so thank you very much. You can send flowers, roses, and a bottle of scotch to our address. We'll give it to you later. This was the best service I've seen at any restaurant I've seen anywhere. Remember, I came out of that.
He was raving about it.
It was unbelievable. Now, and the cool thing is both Advent and Orlando Health have everywhere hundreds of little out parcels throughout all of Central Florida. Mm-hmm. So if you're thinking healthcare is a priority to you, meaning if you're over 50, as I am, she's not, but I am, then you want to have that all around you. And I can't tell you how great it is. As far as the cost is concerned, I use that cost comparison sheet that's down in the comments, and I found the Orlando Health cost was actually lower than most cities, with the exception of, I think, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, or something like that. Some of these like little remote cities that we can compare it. But for almost every metropolitan area, it's cheaper here. Wow, is the service great. Now, besides that, we've also got Winnie Palmer Hospital for which is for children
Arnold
and all,
Palmer,
for Arnold Palmer and Winnie Palmer.
Nemours.
Nemours Hospital, which is children as well. We've got the VA hospital here. It's unreal. I couldn't be happier being here and being 57 years old and needing medical attention now and again. This is the best. And cost-wise, it's less expensive than I've seen almost everywhere else.
So it's not too bad to call Orlando home. You'll save some money.
And remember, if there's anything you need, we're here to help. That's our mission. And most importantly, leave a comment. Tell us what you're thinking.
Yeah, let us know where you live and how the cost compares to where you're currently living, because that'll be really interesting.
If you'd like to get on our calendars, our calendar link's down below, as is our phone number and our email. We want to talk to you about what's important to you. Have an amazing day from George and
Jackie. We're going to the farmer's market now. Bye for now.